Welcome, friends. I'm Katie. Thanks for joining me down the rabbit hole. I'm about to share with you a bunch of information I've compiled about Casey Anthony's most recent bar fight and how allegedly it had everything to do with her on-again, off-again affair with a West Palm Beach police officer. You see, the fight all started when Casey approached and riled up the steady girlfriend of the aforementioned cop. Here we go down this crazy rabbit hole. But before you meet me there, take some time to like, subscribe, comment, share, and join my Facebook page. The Casey Anthony documentary is about to be released, and I want to take you all on the journey of dissecting it with me. Please help expand the reach of my videos by taking just a moment to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for all of your continued support. I'm coming up on 1 year of running my channel in February, and for me, the enjoyment comes entirely from interacting and learning about more of these endless rabbit holes from you, my subscribers. Okay, here we go. On May 23rd of 2021, Casey Anthony threw a hissy fit at a local bar and asked bystanders to call the cops for her so she could have an assailant arrested. The police quickly arrived, and due to their grainy body cam footage, we can get a real look at Casey Anthony wasting the time of the local authorities, yet again, with her whiny complaints about the amazing woman who threw a drink at her.
Hi. Can I file an incident report?
Sure, what happened?
So I'm still wet. I got a drink thrown at me.
Casey got a little alcohol on her outfit. And despite not thinking it was a good idea to call the police when her daughter went missing for over a month, she knows the only way to settle this tiny barroom lover spat is to get a squad car there ASAP.
This girl has been harassing me for a while. I have her cell phone number. If that helps.
Do you know her name?
Yeah.
Okay, and what happened?
She verbally assaulted me, but physically assaulted me with witnesses. I'm still damp from the drink she threw at me.
My favorite part of all this is how everyone in the background is totally ignoring what's going on with Casey Anthony. It's like they don't even notice that a police officer is there to take some kind of a statement from this crazy woman raving and ranting behind them. Leaves me wondering if Casey goes to this bar like every night and calls the police out there. So everyone around her is just used to all these shenanigans.
And why did she throw a drink at you?
We had a verbal altercation outside.
Outside over there?
Yeah.
And elaborate, like what happened?
We dated the same person for a couple years. Whether they're together or not together, she got upset that he had texted me. I let her know that he had, and she came inside and threw a drink at me.
Okay, do you have your ID with you?
Yes, I do.
Are you with him?
No, he was one of the witnesses. Eli, all of these people were witnesses, unfortunately.
Go get him, Tiger. Let's do it, baby.
I try not to make a big deal of things, but she's been a problem in my life for 3 years. So.
Casey Anthony's arch nemesis, who diabolically plots out throwing drinks at her, is named Thelma Moya. Thelma is way hotter than Casey Anthony and has no known history of being charged with murder. So of course Casey can't get along with her. Thelma considers herself the steady girlfriend of Malcolm Allison, who is a West Palm Beach County police officer. More on these characters coming up later, but let's finish listening to Casey Anthony throw her tantrum.
Have you tried?
I've changed my phone number. I phoned. She's moved near me. She has changed her phone number. It's been a repeated problem for several years. So this is the last.
Have you tried doing a restraining order?
No, this is the last resort.
Yes, affirmative.
I have a witness to someone throwing a drink at me that I'm still wearing. I have several witnesses. Yeah. I apologize. I asked for a non-emergency, but
And what's the lady's name? I just made you walk for nothing. Because I was gonna take it.
You're good. I apologize.
Because I was gonna take it.
No.
But you gave me an attitude.
I apologize. I said non-emergency. I swear, I said non-emergency. I said an incident report, non-emergency.
It's my
No,
fault.
I apologize.
And you know her number, you said?
It's give me just 1 second. I hate to say it, Malcolm Allison, who's one of your sergeants, would be able to confirm her information. I don't want to get him involved. He's my ex, he's her ex. That's why all of this happened.
Oh, okay. And
But honey, you can feel
what's her number? What's her number?
Offhand, I don't know. I think that's what it is. I apologize.
You don't have it saved or anything?
I can send it back to you. If you can get me an incident report number, I can send it to you.
So you just need an incident report?
Yeah.
Give me one second.
If you can send that to me, I can send it to you. That would be no problem. Yeah, no, I have it saved for stuff like this.
Why don't you file a restraining order?
I didn't have enough to file a restraining order. I had to have actual threats. Her texting was not enough. Her showing up where I was not enough. This is enough. In front of witnesses is enough.
So, you want to go with my incident number?
The owner of the establishment is sitting over here. Just saw it happen.
Thank you.
Again, I apologize. I said non-emergency.
That's okay.
Her friend was here. Several people that I've known for years are here as witnesses, if necessary. So I'm not trying to file a restraining order. I just want it to stop. And I know a restraining order at most is good for 6 months, and it can go away.
Right. Well, we'll document the incident that happened. And I'll put it as verbal threats because you said that she keeps coming to
No, and you can tell she threw a drink at me.
But you should definitely, if you're being going through this, you gotta follow up on it. So we can do.
I have multiple witnesses.
Okay, so we get it. Lots of witnesses, lots of wet clothing, not going to file a restraining order, just want it to stop. Smiling and kissing a bunch of random men who walk by. Classic Casey. So, the point is, Casey wanted an incident report filed about how she was, quote unquote, still damp after Thelma Moya threw a glass of alcohol at her. Now, Casey admits she approached Moya and declared that Moya's cop boyfriend was cheating on her with Anthony via alleged texts. Casey continues, whether they're together or not, she got upset that he had texted me. I let her know that he had, and she came inside and threw a drink at me. Anthony complains that despite her efforts to not make a big deal of things, Moya has been a problem in her life for 3 years. She claims to have had to change her phone number just to prevent Moya from contacting her. Then she invokes Sergeant Allison's name and tells the officer that he could confirm her account, but says, I don't want to get him involved. He's my ex. He's her ex. That's why all of this happened. The officer suggests that Casey file a restraining order against Moya, but Casey claims that until now she hasn't been able to get enough information to file a restraining order. However, she thinks now that her clothes have been freshly dampened, she's got enough evidence in her pocket to get Moya in trouble. This dash cam footage went viral. It was all over the news and people were talking about Anthony showing up in bars, getting into bar fights. Later, it was found that Casey is reportedly a regular at the bar called O'Shea's. She goes there often to play poker. Funny enough, her father, George Anthony, also had a major problem with gambling, and it turns out there's a lot of evidence that Casey's carried on this tradition and has a lot of issues with gambling herself, one of the main reasons that she is desperate for money right now, and potentially is a motivating factor in her doing this documentary. More on that in another video. So, After all the information about this bar fight went public, the police, as well as Casey Anthony followers, actually tracked Moya down, and they tried to get her side of the story. Check out this TikTok video made by an amateur sleuth who chatted Thelma Moya about the incident online. Okay, so basically this TikToker made a TikTok video that went viral looking for Thelma. She was saying in the video, like, come on, Thelma, we're so proud of you for throwing a drink on Casey Anthony. We all want to Venmo you or PayPal you some money so you can buy yourself a drink.
I found her, and make sure you stick around for the next slides so that you can just see. She's such a sweet person, and she's gorgeous, and I think she's definitely deserving of a few drinks. This part especially just speaks to her character because it takes a mature person to say something like this. So with all of that being said, let's go show her some love. Here's her Venmo.
Publicly, Moya went on to claim that everything that happened that night of the alleged bar fight was actually quote-unquote an act. Moya said Casey's miserable and starved for attention. She claimed that the bar fight drama was a publicity stunt orchestrated by Casey to draw attention for the new documentary she was preparing to participate in about her daughter's death. It's all an act. She's starved for attention and seeking to get the publicity she desires, Moya told Fox News. Truth is, it just proves how miserable she is. This isn't just over an ex we both dated in the past. Her losing control, her unknowing of my current life or what I'm doing, has her do things like this. Moya claimed Anthony orchestrated the stunt to help promote an upcoming documentary, marking the 10th anniversary of her acquittal in the death of her daughter, Kaylee. Moya says that calling the incident harassment was quite a stretch, and that Anthony was the actual antagonizer in the fight. Moya says Anthony admitted to a friend the next morning that she provoked everything. Moya says the drama between the two of them extends beyond them dating the same police officer. Moya says that Anthony spitefully slept with her best friend. As for throwing a drink, Moya says unfortunately that too was an exaggeration. I walked over to her and flipped my cup on the table where Casey was playing poker, and since Casey was seated, the alcoholic beverage got on her. Oops, she said. If I had poured a drink on her, I would have just walked over and poured it on her head. I wish you did, Thelma. Here's another interesting scoop. Because a few months later, Casey's parents, George and Cindy Anthony, who are allegedly estranged from Casey, went on Dr. Phil and spoke out about Casey's relationship with this cop and what happened with Thelma Moya. Apparently, Cindy is claiming that she does talk to Casey about this situation, and Casey claimed at one point she was quote-unquote almost engaged to this police officer.
So the man at the center of this apparent love triangle, ironically, is allegedly a cop.
He is.
George, what was your reaction when you heard about this news?
Well, in the first place, I said, what is she doing going into a bar that she knows something could happen? I saw just the same thing that you just saw when I saw it the very first time. I'm like, are you got to be kidding me? Why is she going into a area where she knows there's going to be someone possibly going to recognize her or do something to get her to act in a way that she could go back to jail again or something? And I'm thinking, why not stay away from these places? Why go into a place that you know doggone well people get intoxicated, they can say things or do things,
But in this case, the woman who apparently threw the drink at her knew her. Cindy, what have you learned about the incident?
Well, I had heard about this young lady several years. In fact, the last time we were on your show, a couple years ago, I had thought that they were still together, Casey and this police officer. And when we got back, I found out from Casey that she had broken off with him. But I had heard prior to, coming on the show that there was this 20-some-year-old young lady who was harassing Casey. Well, I remember I didn't hear anything about the drink incident, and I remember going out and seeing George in the garage, and he's fuming, and I go, what's going on? And he goes, our daughter is in the news again, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, what happened? So he showed me the video on, on the computer, and I said, well, she had every right to call the police. This girl has been harassing her for 2 years. He did not know that. I said, this girl is trying to seek attention, and I said, she's been stalking Casey. I mean, Casey would see her at different venues she would be at. I said, she has every right to go out and live her life. She's a young lady. She has friends, and they go out in public, and she was playing pool that night. So I calmed him down. I said, George, I said, Casey's not out there trying to get into the news. It became news because she reported this girl, and she had reported her before. I mean, her boyfriend was a police officer. So, he knew she was being harassed.
Is he a boyfriend or a fiance, or what happened there?
Well, they were supposedly going to get engaged, but Casey, he had been married previously. This young lady had been harassing his ex-wife as well. So Casey got upset because he kept interacting with this girl. So she finally realized that he wasn't marriage material, so they split up. They have remained friends though, and this girl was upset that Casey was still in his life even as a friend.
Cindy. Where can I even go with your propensity to act like Casey didn't spend years lying to you about everything in her life? She got rid of your granddaughter and accused your husband of the most heinous acts. You really want to keep acting like anything that comes out of Casey's mouth can be believed by anyone around her. But whatever, Cindy's mental state is a totally different rabbit hole we could head down. Getting back to what happened after the bar fight. Now, following this bar fight, several YouTubers and reporters down in Florida started looking for Malcolm Allison to talk to him about why he's messing around with Casey Anthony and what an idiot he is. One YouTuber in particular got super close to this case because she is well known by West Palm Beach police for following cases of police misconduct in the area and putting them all over her YouTube channel. She was one of the first to publicize Casey's video asking police to file an incident report about Thelma Moya. The YouTuber went on to claim that following that post, she began to get threats from people she believes are connected to Casey's cop boyfriend, Malcolm Allison. And she actually went on to confront Allison about it and put the video of the confrontation on her channel. I'm going to show you parts of that now.
Hey guys, so there's Malcolm Allison right there. He was dating alleged baby killer Casey Anthony, and we're gonna see what he has to say, because he told me to park my car and get out because he'd love to have a conversation with me. So let's see what he has to say today, guys. Alright, so we parked our car and he has nothing to say to us.
Hey cop. Hey cop. Hey cop! Hey cop! Hey cop! Hey cop! Hey cop!
You told me to park my car.
Turn around!
Hey, can y'all take that somewhere else, please?
Hey, he's right there. I got to take it right there.
Take that shit somewhere
No,
else.
he called me and threatened my two small children.
Well, we don't need that over here.
Come on,
No, we don't. You're right.
Come on, Allison.
He told me to park my car and he'll have a conversation with me. Let's talk.
You like to threaten children? What? You like to threaten children?
You have a police need? You need police at all?
Oh, I do.
I need an explanation.
I need it so bad.
I need an explanation.
Do you need police?
The video I posted of you dating Casey Anthony, that was online for over a year.
Come on! I'm ready. Hey, come on, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Come on.
You like to have a conversation?
Yes, let's do it. Thank you. These people don't need to hear your drama. I parked my car just for this. You told me to park.
You like to threaten people's families? I'm not happy with you.
How do you explain that text message?
Sorry, if you put your finger in my face again, we have an issue.
Come here, Fiona.
Have a good day.
Come here. What about the text message? You said you had no problem meeting up with me.
I will happily talk to you.
Keep my children's names out of your mouth. Keep them out of your mouth. Don't ever talk about my 2 small children again.
I got an issue, Alex. You got a password down there at the station? I think you're out of the station.
Telling Thelma Moya all of my personal information? You're so brave. What a hero.
Oh, what a tangled web Casey and all of the people around her continue to weave. Like attracts like. And it seems that often Casey Anthony attracts people just as crazy as she is to her. There's so much going on with this girl, and this is just the beginning of her rabbit hole. I hope you'll join me back here again next time, friends, as we continue to dissect what's going on with Casey Anthony.